video game turned movie. Sometimes that works and sometimes it doesn't. We will see. It sure did money wise, but we'll get that in a second. Anyway, IMDb plot says a troubled security guard begins working at Freddy's Fazbear's Pizza. During his first night on the job, he realizes the night shift won't be so easy to get through. Pretty soon, he will unveil what actually happened at Freddy's. Okay, so yeah, there's some stuff to unpack here, but yeah, based on a video game, a game, an app you can play on the phone as well or whatever. I really don't know. My gaming days are kind of behind me. Um, but regardless, a very popular one that's been out. I've obviously not played it and whatever. I know I've shared some stuff about it, but that's about it as far as the game. So how close this kind of follows, I have no idea. Um, let's see what else here at the top. Also fairly new movie. I know tons and tons of you have probably already seen this, and I know it should be coming out soon. I believe on DVD. But I'll still try to keep this spoiler free. I'm sure most of you either know what happens because of the video game or because you've already seen it. But regardless, we'll keep this kind of spoiler free because there is a little bit of a twist here towards the end. And so yeah, what to say about this one? I will say that it kind of reminds me what the few things that I remember of my youth is going to places like this where they had those animatronics that would come out and kind of sing and whatever. So it's kind of a flashback, and whether that's a good thing or not, I don't really know. But yeah, I'm sure when I was little, I never thought of one of these things kind of coming alive and so forth. But yeah, when they do here, fun times. And I think, what is it, the Nick Cage movie, Willy's Wonderland, I think it was. Uh, Similar kind of thing here, trapped in an old uh, show house game room kind of thing, and the animatronics are alive there too. I don't, I remember that movie was weird, but kind of liking that one. But I don't know if it got any slack for kind of being like this, and I don't know, what idea came. I'm guessing Freddy came first. Not the movie, but at least the idea. But I don't know how that kind of got away with that, but whatever. Um, we see similar movies all the time, so yeah. But anyway, yeah, you have a security guard here at the beginning. He certainly proves that he has issues, and he thinks he's in the mall doing his thing, and he thinks a little boy, I think it was a boy, little boy has been kidnapped. He chases the guy down, and it literally beats the living hell out of him. And in the process, is gonna get fired. And is lucky he's not in jail. How he was not in jail, I don't know. Unless he was and I missed it, I don't know. But now he needs a new job because he has to take care of his little sister. So in return, he gets offered this night job, but obviously doesn't want it because he does need to take care of his little sister. But eventually has no choice but to take the night job and figure out a way to take care of his sister at the same time. And he's ensured that it is going to be an easy job. All he has to do is kind of sit there and make sure people do not go inside and ruin this old closed down game room slash arcade, old, whatever you want to call it, playhouse, theater, whatever. So it seems like a good job. Seems like nothing's gonna happen, but we know that this is a horror movie, and that's just not possible. So he doesn't really know it at first, but yeah, the animatronics come alive here, and they're not always happy. They are willing to kill, and kind of a subplot to it is that the sister is being trying to be taken away by another family member who feels that they can raise her better, and is kind of setting, the security guard brother up for failure in a way. And they have a plan that they're going to make him look even worse by sabotaging his job as a security guard. But that doesn't work out so well. And probably in one of the scenes that we kind of see the animatronics do their worst or their best, depending on what you feel, that kind of happens there. So that's kind of fun. We finally kind of get what we want from the animatronics. If you're gonna bring them alive and they're bad, we want to see them killing some people. So, they get to do a little bit of that. Me, they definitely do not kill as many people as I wanted them to. But I'll take it, I guess. As far as the puppets, I think they use puppets. It's not CGI done, as far as I understand from the little I saw about the film. They did a pretty good job. They you can kind of see their good side and then obviously see their evil side. But I thought overall they did pretty good job with it. So it's not really, we don't have to worry too much about CGI and how bad that can get and be, and how that kind of ruins the film. So I thought the animatronics were pretty good and fun. Obviously wanted to see more of them and more of them killing, but whatever. And as far as the story, I don't know if that's the same kind of story that goes along with the video game or whatever. It was okay. It obviously makes sense. And the little girl obviously plays a role in it, and that kind of plays a role with it, even with the animatronics and their feelings. And it does kind of set up kind of weird, because you get to see the security guard and he kind of has these dreams of when they're young and having another sibling, and that sibling he's in charge of, and that sibling gets taken from him or from the family, and he's got all kinds of guilt about that. And he's also really trying to remember and trying to figure out what happened that day, what happened to, I believe it was his brother. And you get that, and if you're like me, who has no idea about video games or whatever. Like I said, I don't know how much it is tied with a video game. I don't know if it has nothing to do with it, or just the animatronics, or this backstory, or what. But at least as this is kind of unfolding, they do that a couple of times. It's just like, okay, it's obviously important, obviously has meaning, but it was just a little weird, and each time, it was a little bit different. And I wasn't really sure. They were trying to use it almost like as to scare you in a way, because it was a bit creepy, and it did feature some little kids. And so at times, I wasn't sure they were just doing it to kind of, as an extra scare. But then, it kind of sprinkles in some clues to, okay, well, maybe this has to do with this. So it was weird, obviously important to what's going on. Later you find out, really what's happening with him, what happened back then. And, everything kind of comes almost full circle in a way. Like I said, there is a little bit of a twist at the end. Does it fool you? Does it not? I don't know. I kind of thought maybe, certain things, and I think I was leaning in the right direction. Maybe not the whole full circle story to it, but at least I think I got one or two things right. I'm just terrible at that sometimes. I was more interested in just the animatronics killing, and I didn't really looking for a twist, but whatever. So yeah, I've said this on another recent review. Like, I don't know, the story was okay. It's obviously important, and it unfolds well and comes to a good conclusion and everything like that. but might have liked the Nick Cage kind of version kind of better, where it's just like, I'm gonna fight you, evil animatronics, and that's it, and we're gonna get down and to that kind of craziness. And this movie wasn't totally about that. It has its moments, but it was not all about that. There's a lot of other story going on here. And yeah, me, and I would have preferred to see just people after people go in there and be like, hey, let's have a fun time in here. Then the animatronics just like, hey, we're not having any of this. And Freddy and his pals just, kill them until obviously someone else comes in there and kills Freddy. But whatever. That would have been my version. But it was okay for me. It was okay. I understand. Obviously got a lot of hype. Obviously, we know who did the film and blah blah blah. And I think because of the way it ends and because of how much money it made, uh, sequel time is coming. I don't know if they made it an announcement, but for damn sure that with that much money and obviously the big name and everything like that, how can it not? And when I see how much money it has and so forth, I kind of think, does that A necessarily mean it was a good movie, and B necessarily mean that it needs another movie? And I say no in both those cases. Just because a movie makes a lot of money means a lot of people are curious when it saw it, but then it's like, like on IMDb, I believe it says it got 5.5 out of 10. So does 5 out of 10 really mean that it needs a sequel? I don't know. Obviously, the money says it needs a sequel, and so there's two different things there. So, and obviously, I'm sure there's a fan base for the game and so forth. So, it's an easy starting place to make at least some money. But yeah, I don't know. I what avenue a sequel would take. Obviously, the door's open. There's different ways they can do it. Like I said, you see it when I'm not going to give it away, but when you see it when the movie ends, the door is wide open. So there are directions for it to go, and I'm surely they have ideas about that. But for me, if they do it, I'll probably end up watching it. But whatever. So because of that, I'm gonna give this one 2 pools of blood. I wasn't overly loving it and didn't hate it. The little girl was cute. She did a good job. The acting was okay. Again, I just would have settled just for more of a non-serious storyline and let the animatronics just kill some people for whatever reason. Simple horror there for me. But yeah, they did do a good job with animatronics. We'll give them that, and they didn't do CGI, so there are pluses there and so forth. But seriously, I guess if you're a fan of the game and so forth, those are the people that it matters to. So if those people liked it, we'll go with it. If they didn't like it, then I say, regardless of the money, let's stop there. But again, we know that that's not happening. So with that, again, that's 2 pools of blood out of 5 for Freddy and his buddies here. So horrorsgoryreviews.blogspot.com is where you can find all of my reviews, written and video. Obviously written, you have to go a little bit back. Video, tons of video reviews lately. Promise to write something again at some point. So like, subscribe, all those things everybody wants you to do. Or if you hate me for not really caring for this game or playing the game first, you don't have to. But please check out the shorts anyway. Try to keep you guys entertained there and give you a little bit of information, a little bit of both, some courtesy of Promote Horror, and Twitter, Facebook information down below as well. Reach out to me there. We can talk horror. You can encourage me to play video games there. Or down in the comment section, say, hey, I love the game, get with the program here. And please let me know, if you liked the film or not, and if you want a sequel, if that's something that you want to see or not. So yeah, with that, I guess I'll catch you on the next review, horror fans.